Holy returning actor from the 90s, Batman!
I'm Batman.
Hi, I'm Phil. Welcome to my channel where I talk about all the geeky pop culture that I like, including superheroes. And we got some interesting superhero news that dropped yesterday, I think it was. I'm a little slow on the uptake here. I know everyone else has already talked about it, but I'm still going to talk about it. Michael Keaton, Batman from Batman 89 and Batman Returns in 1991, might be reprising his role as Bruce Wayne / the Batman in the DCEU. But wait, I hear you say, the DCEU, that Batman, is that Batfleck guy, or possibly Robert Pattinson, depending on how you look at it. Why would they be bringing Michael Keaton back? Well, let's talk about that. We'll talk about some theories, we'll talk about how they might be incorporating this into the plot of the Flash movie, because we don't know yet. There's very little information coming out, and in fact, this isn't even definite yet. This is all in the very early stages of negotiation, so this may not even come to pass, but now so many people are talking about it that I just could not talk about it. So the news is that Warner Brothers are in negotiations with Michael Keaton to reprise his role as Bruce Wayne. Possibly, we don't know if that's going to include suiting up as the Batman, but definitely as Bruce Wayne. Now, the key word there is in negotiations. They might not be able to come to an agreement. They might not be offering enough money that Michael Keaton wants. Michael Keaton might not be keen on the idea. Maybe he doesn't like the script they come up with. We don't know that this will definitely go ahead yet. But the rumour is that there are negotiations going on. And I say rumour because there's, very little information we've got so far. And when I first saw this pop up on my timelines yesterday, I kind of dismissed it a little bit. And I kind of thought, well, we get lots of these crazy rumours all the time of things people would love to see. And they just kind of put it out there as a rumour. Or it's something that's been sort of vaguely talked about but hasn't got very far. But then I saw it getting reported by more and more places. More and more people that I respect the opinions of started to report on it and talk about it, as opposed to just the kind of websites that, let's just say, don't have the best reputation of being particularly accurate. Their journalistic, I'm not going to name names, but some of their journalistic qualities aren't the best, let's say. They'll just report anything and in the headline they'll make it out as fact and just put a caveat in there that it's rumour. So I want to be very clear up the front. This is absolutely a rumour, but now there's quite a lot of people reporting on it. Even the Guardian newspaper is reporting on it. So I think it's worthy of talking about now. So the rumour is that he will be appearing primarily, firstly, in the Flash movie, which is, again, heavily rumoured to be titled Flashpoint. Now, any people that are familiar with the comics will know that Flashpoint was a storyline where Barry Allen goes back in time and saves his mother from being killed. And that has repercussions, quite heavy repercussions on the timeline. In the comic, it results in the Flashpoint timeline where Thomas Wayne is Batman, Martha Wayne is the Joker. There's a war going on between the Amazons and the Atlanteans, and just basically the whole world's a bit of a mess. So how much of that will get incorporated into the Flashpoint movie, we already don't know what the plan is. But if they pull this off, what does that mean for the Flashpoint plotline? Because obviously in that there was Thomas Wayne as Batman and not Bruce Wayne. So if Michael Keaton is reprising Bruce Wayne, is that as well as this strand with Thomas Wayne, or is it instead of? Or maybe, actually, he'll end up playing Thomas Wayne. Who knows? It was also mentioned that he might be a recurring role throughout DCEU films, that he might be showing up in other ones like the few forthcoming Batgirl film, as well as other ones, and that I think I saw somebody mention him as being maybe kind of like the Nick Fury figure, kind of just popping up in a few scenes here and there. We don't really know at the moment, frankly, but I am quite excited about this news. I was already going to go and see Flashpoint, or the Flash movie, or whatever the Flash movie ended up being, and I haven't been massively tempted to go see every single DCEU movie, especially not after I didn't see Justice League in the cinema because I've been so disappointed by Suicide Squad, which I also hadn't seen in the cinema, but I'm very disappointed by the movie, and it just generally I'd lost a bit of enthusiasm for the DCEU. I really liked Man of Steel. I thought Batman v Superman was a very flawed movie, and it just kept on getting worse every movie from my perspective. But Wonder Woman, Aquaman, very good movies, and so I was kind of a little bit more enthusiastic about going to see them again. I was already going to go see Flash. If this comes off, then I will definitely be there in the cinema, virus allowing, to go and see this. But let's speculate a little bit. What could they do with it? How could they incorporate this into the Flashpoint movie? Obviously, there's the obvious one that he goes back in time, saves his mother, changes the future, but we don't get a timeline where Thomas Wayne has become Batman and his, Bruce's mum has become the Joker. Instead, maybe we get just a different Batman, one that has been, and that can be how they can explain how it's not played by the same character. Maybe we'll get that. Or maybe we'll go the multiverse route. If he's doing time travel, maybe he's also hopping in the multiverse as well. Now, interestingly, we know that Ezra Miller's version of the Flash is now aware of the multiverse, and we know that from the Arrowverse. In Crisis on Infinite Earths, there was a brilliant scene where that shows Barry Allen. If you don't know what Crisis on Infinite Earths is, it involves the multiverse. It involves multiple versions of Earth and different heroes, different timelines, and all that sort of stuff. And in a very short scene, really, Barry Allen from the TV show meets Barry Allen from the movies, and that's where seemingly the Barry Allen from the movies, the Flash from the movies, learns about the multiverse. He says that he's going to go back and talk to Victor, aka Cyborg, about it. So maybe that plays into that. Maybe the Warner Brothers wanted that scene, particularly in that crossover of Arrowverse, and the rumor is that it was Warner Brothers that specifically asked if that could be in there and not the creators of the show. Maybe that was why. Maybe because they were planning on incorporating the multiverse into the movies as well. So we might get, as well as a bit of time travelling, and as well as a bit of changing his own timeline, we might get also Ezra Miller's version of The Flash hopping about in the multiverse a bit, and maybe that's how he meets the Bruce Wayne from Earth 89, as they called it in Arrowverse. Because there was a little flash of Earth 89. We didn't get to see Batman, but we did get to see another character that was in those early movies pop up as in a little cameo scene in the Crisis on Infinite Earths. So Batman 89, Earth 89 is seemingly what it's called. Maybe he goes to that Earth as well, Ezra Miller's Flash, and meets Michael Keaton's Batman, Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne, an older Bruce Wayne. Now, what this, I think, opens up the possibility is for the DCEU to do something that Marvel movies haven't done and maybe won't ever do. I don't know. Obviously, Marvel in the comics has a multiverse as well, so maybe they will start incorporating a multiversal type thing. But this is a chance for DC to get ahead of the game in terms of Marvel here for the first time and incorporate the multiverse into their movies. And I think it frees them up massively because it allows them to have a connected cinematic universe, but not just a cinematic universe, a connected cinematic multiverse where you can have films that don't have to interact and you don't have to have explanations of, okay, why aren't the Justice League turning up here to solve this problem? Why is it just this one hero? Because that can be set on a different Earth. But you can still bring them in and connect them when you want to and have characters travelling between different Earths. And if the rumour that Michael Keaton is going to be a kind of connecting thread between DCU movies going forward is true, that can be how they do it. Maybe he comes back with the Flash and ends up on his Earth. Maybe he has his own ways of travelling between the multiverse by this point. At this point, he's been operating as Batman for 30 years, so that's always a possibility as well. It leaves open an exciting lot of creative possibilities, I think, for the future of the DCEU. And I kind of hoped they were going to do something like this with Flashpoint. I kind of just assumed they might reset the timeline as an excuse to do some recasts and going forward, then they would have some Elseworlds movies as well, like Joker, where they don't impact the main continuity. But that essentially they would still have this main thread going through that is the DCEU. But if they're going the multiverse route, that's very exciting, and I want to see I really want to see that now that they've teased me with this possibility. So what do you think? Are you excited, first of all, about Michael Keaton returning to the role as Batman, as Bruce Wayne? Are you excited about that? Are you a fan of the 89/91 movies? I loved them as a kid. They were my second Batman. My first Batman was the watching repeats of the old 1966 TV series, so the very cheesy ones that I used to watch on repeats as a really small child. And then when I got a bit older and was allowed to watch the Batman and Batman Returns, sort of when I was about 8 or so, 7, 8, I got into that Batman quite a lot and really enjoyed that. So and preferred it to the Adam West Batman, definitely. So I'm very excited. This is kind of my childhood Batman in that sense, the one that I really loved as a kid. So very exciting news for me. What do you think? Are you excited about this news? What do you want? How do you want them to handle it as well? Let me know all that in the comments below, and I'll be back for more videos about superheroes, about Doctor Who, about the MCU, about DC, about all sorts of things soon. So do hit that like button, subscribe, share, all that jazz, because that really helps me out. And I'll see you soon. Bye.